The man said it was used by Wolf Barnato in the 1929 Le Mans race. For an extra couple of dollars, he gave me this piece of paper guaranteeing its authenticity. Shove it in with the rest of the stuff and make a surcharge. Are you sure we got all the pieces?
He'd be lucky if he get that supercharger coupled up in line. Took us a long time to dismantle.
It'll give him something to do in the long winter evenings.
What about that for long winter evening, eh?
Can I help you, madam?
This is Mercury International.
It is, yes.
Well, I'm looking for your head office.
Will you follow me? I'll show you the way.
Say, isn't that a P100 headlight? You don't see very many of those around anymore.
It is indeed, madam. Standard fitting on the 1929 4.5-liter Le Mans Bentley. We're shipping the components of the car to the Sheikh of Satar. He wants to put it together himself. He's a sheikh who's got everything.
This is your head office.
It is, yes.
Your boss works here, Mr. Varela, Mr. Carlos Varela?
He does indeed.
Well, can I speak with him, please?
Yes, of course. Won't you sit down? I'll go get him for you.
Can I help you?
I'm looking for Mr. Varela.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I think he's just gone out.
It's all right, Miss Carter. He's just come back. Now then, Miss,
What is the idea of this quick change act?
Well, I thought it wouldn't be becoming to do business with so beautiful a lady as yourself in my rough working clothes. This is a business call, isn't it, Miss,
Connery. Sheila Connery.
Now, wait a minute. Let me see. From, Houston, Texas.
Dallas.
Now, how did you hear about P100 headlamps in Dallas?
Oh, well, my daddy has a stable of 35 vintage Rolls Royces.
He did.
Bottle champagne for very pretty lady?
Yes, I was just going to suggest it.
Perrier Jouet, 1953.
What about something a bit drier? Mur 55, huh?
Big shot. Perrier Jouet, 1949. Come from sandy side of liver. Make everybody laugh it up like crazy.
All right, but see that it's well iced. I love that hat of yours.
Thank you very much. My, you are fast.
Always put bottled champagne on ice soon as see pretty girl come in office.
And I thought this was a special occasion.
But you are, Miss Connery. Jim? Now then, Miss Connery, allow me to a most delightful meeting. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, I was afraid you were never going to ask. I want you to export a castle.
A large castle or a small castle, Miss Connery?
Well, I don't know. I've never seen it. It's an island. My great-great-great-granddaddy was born in it. I guess it's just been falling down ever since. Well, I'm the last of the Connerys, and I want to bring the castle back to Texas.
Another glass champagne for lady with 35 Rolls Royces?
He's quite capable of saying Rolls-Royce, you know. But he thinks Rolls-Royce makes him more inscrutable. Of course, we'd have to make a preliminary survey. I'd have to send over my assistant.
You do it, in person.
That'll be $1,000 plus my expenses.
It's a deal.
Chin, would you give the lady another glass of champagne, please?
Thank you.
To the export of Connery Castle, may its shadow never grow less once we put it together again.
You make the hotel bookings for tonight. There's the address.
Well, yes, yes. Miss Carter, will you book me 2 single rooms with baths and a private sitting room at the Connery Castle Arms, Mount Connery near Dundalk?
Is that Scotland?
No, that's not Scotland, that's Ireland.
For tonight?
Yes, for tonight. And 2 places on the next plane to Dublin, please. Thank you. Chin, pack me some clothes suitable for the Irish countryside.
Norfolk jacket and a knickerbocker. All same like George Bernard Shaw.
I take it your knickerbockers and Norfolk jacket are already packed, eh?
Why, sure thing. They're at the airport.
I thought they would be. You know, at the rate we're going to break all the world's existing records for the export of castles. Do you always move this fast?
When I start something, I ride it hard.
You're booked in for tonight and 2 seats on the 3 o'clock plane.
Good.
You'll be having some interesting company. They tell me they're going to have to pour Sylvester O'Toole aboard.
They'll want to strap him in tight, won't they? Sylvester O'Toole is a well-known Irish playwright, as well known to his fans as to the police. In fact, the police are looking after him right now. He's been deported to Ireland for attacking 3 motorcycle cops in the space of a week.
Well, maybe he just doesn't like
He
motorcycles.
should have curbed his dislike. His new play's opening in London next week, and he's reported distress that he can't be present to help it along. I'm afraid we're in for a bumpy ride, Miss Connery.
I'll see the lot of you in jail if you so much as lay a hand on them. And Mr. Hogan here will back me up.
If it's Sylvester O'Toole you're talking about, we have more to worry about than him.
We're working with Interpol.
We're looking for the man that's trying to blow up General de Gaulle. Word's come through, he's trying to slip in here from New York.
So Sylvester O'Toole, begging your pardon, ma'am, can go and have a bark at himself.
Bark at himself, indeed. The greatest Irish playwright ever born. And him the victim of a vicious attack by the British Home Office, the Archbishop of Canterbury, and the Lord Chamberlain to stop him telling the people of England the truth.
Oh, I doubt very much whether the people of England could understand the truth as presented by Mr. Sylvester O'Toole. I can't make head or tail of it myself.
Ah. And when did you last have a play put on in the West End of London?
Thank you, Alice, thank you. I wouldn't want to be that commercial.
You mark my words. We'll have a full apology out to the British government, and they'll pay his fare back to London in good time for his opening night. The 700 years of oppression is over, I can tell you that.
God save all here, huh? Land of saints and scholars, Mr. Varela. Hello there, here. Go in the bar and set up a drink.
Will you look at that? How they sent a plain-clothes man over with them, and him dragging the arm of poor Mr. O'Toole. Cossacks, that's what they are, Cossacks. I'll give them Cossacks.
Back in Texas, I'd had for the hills. Looks like a lynching party.
Looks more like a protest group.
Hey, that's me. Sylvester, I wish you so too, huh?
What's it all about?
They probably want the ban rescinded. Get Mr. O'Toole back to England.
Well, he doesn't seem very anxious.
If you'd been deported 3 times in a row, would you want to go back?
Well, still, his play is opening.
But he's here now. Mr. O'Toole. Mr. O'Toole, would you mind, please, over there? That's it. Thank you.
I've nothing to declare except another injustice to Ireland and a thirst that'll kill a horse, huh? Huh?
Thank you. Now,
You're a decent man, Mr. Varela. I thought me back was broke when I fell down them steps, huh? Wouldn't you know it? Now, one of them bowsies will give me a hand but yourself, huh?
as far as I'm concerned, it was a privilege to be of help to a most distinguished writer, sir.
And me heartfelt thanks to you and your charming lady.
A pleasure. Pleasure.
Mr. O'Toole, you!
Oh, no. Deirdre of the Sorrows. Would you lot mind getting out of me way? I've been legally deported into this country, you know. And that gives me the constitutional right to walk straight into the bar.
That other fellow with you? A Frenchman, was he?
Had you no sense? Can't you see he's a plain-clothes man from Scotland Yard? I'd know one of them fellas anywhere. Poor Mr. O'Toole. I saw him dragging the arm off you. But there, love. You're back home and with your own again, where you'll be properly looked after, won't he, Mr. Hogan?
Hello there, Sylvester. Hello. I'm sorry to hear about your trouble. Come on now. There's a car waiting for you.
I can wait. I've got a throat on me like a sandpit.
Come along now, Mr. O'Toole. We'll stop for a little drop on the way.
Yeah, look, I'm not going anywhere. I'm wore out being pushed around.
Come on now, come on.
Dear, you're in good hands. Just leave it all to us.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Would you mind giving us a look at your passport, please? We're looking for a certain fella, you see. A foreigner, like yourself.
Mr. Varela has already shown his passport to the immigration officer. He is working for me. I am Sheila Connery of Connery Castle, Dundalk. Do you want to know anything else?
Oh, well, no, ma'am. I'm sure that's all right.
Good. Come on, Miss Varela.
Thank you. When you start something, you certainly do write it hard. Are you sure you don't want me to drive?
What? Well, I went all the trouble of having this car delivered to me in Ireland.
Airy, ma'am. They'll draw and quarter you for calling Ireland, Ireland in Ireland.
Well, whatever they call it, that's where the castle is. Mount Connery, 3 miles.
May the saints preserve us till we get there.
Oh, there you are down here. And there's me thinking you're an aeroplane up there.
You could say we've been flying. Got any accommodations for us? Varela's the name.
De Valera. Don't tell me you're related to the great man himself.
Not Valera. Varela. Also Spanish, but
Rela.
right.
You're a foreigner. Oh, that's it, sure, I might have known. Ha, me thinking it was De Valera. The dear knows what he'd be doing in a place like this. Sure, if it wasn't for the border over there, this place would be the back of beyond. Well, now, have you any bags?
The border? What's the border?
The frontier with Northern Ireland.
This side here is the Irish Republic. Over there is occupied territory, occupied by the British Army. They can have it.
Another injustice to Ireland, which everyone hopes will remain permanent.
Why so?
The necessities of life, such as drink and tobacco, are cheaper on this side than on the other.
Oh, you mean the smuggling?
Oh, no, man. Oh, nothing like that. Oh, we're very law-abiding characters here. Oh, would you like to follow me in? If you hold on a minute, I'll see if the boss is in. Oh, that's Mr. Burke, you know.
The Connery Castle Arms doesn't quite live up to its name, does it?
What's that smell?
Cabbage.
Oh. What are they doing to it?
Cooking it.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Madam, welcome to the Castle Connery Arms.
Thank you.
It was 2 single rooms, was it?
Of course.
Well, would you like to sign the register?
Be happy to. Hello.
Excuse me, sir. Would you mind showing me your passport? Oh, it's just a formality.
Still looking for the man who's trying to blow up General de Gaulle?
I'm afraid I'm not allowed to give any information to the civilian population.
It's all right.
Well, I won't be keeping you any longer then, Sergeant. Goodbye now.
That seems to be in order, sir.
I'm delighted.
Might see you later on tonight.
You might.
Miss Sheila Connery. Well, now, there's a coincidence. Did you happen to know by any chance there's Castle Connery up the road? Of course, it's all in ruins now. Nobody's been near it for years.
I own it.
You can't. Sure, the title deeds disappeared centuries ago.
They're right here in my bag.
Oh, I see. Well, I suppose you're just passing through, having a look at the place for old time's sake.
As a matter of fact, Miss Connery and I were planning to stay some time.
The surveyor's coming up next week from Dublin.
Surveyor. You're not thinking of rebuilding that old heap of rubbish?
Oh, no. Just taking it away.
Oh. Would you mind saying that again?
Miss Connery proposes to remove the ruins of her ancestral home and rebuild them in Dallas, Texas, where she now lives.
Glory be. You say the surveyor's not coming until next week?
Of course, we'll need a contractor to do the actual work, but the property will have to be surveyed first. I'm handling the transshipment for Miss Connery. Mercury International, imports and exports.
Well, you won't want to be wasting your time here waiting for the surveyor. You should take Miss Connery to see the lakes of Killarney. Oh, a rare sight at this time of year. Look, I'll be calling my cousin for you. 'Tis a fine inn he owns right on the shore of the lake.
Some other time? A labor force will have to be organized. I need about 50 men, and I think you're just the man to do the job.
This won't give us time.
I'm all mixed up in my bookings. There's not a spot of room about the place. We're all full up. There's a fella in the bath already.
This job is worth £50 to the right man.
£50.
And I believe you mentioned a booking fee of £5 per room. That makes £10 altogether, doesn't it? Take him.
Well, don't be hanging about with the bags.
Thanks.
And see that Mr. Varela has a bottle of good Irish whiskey to warm him after the long drive. Oh.
Oh, me foot. Did you see him?
What's the idea letting him in?
Well, how was I to know who he was?
I know who he is. He's from Scotland Yard, a plain-clothes man. I can spot them a mile away. I saw him at the airport.
Well, you're not seeing straight this time. That's who he is.
Carlos Varela, Mercury International, imports and exports. Well, that's a likely story.
You haven't heard the half of it. Come on in here.
Come in.
Have you got a bathroom?
That's it. At the end of the passage.
That is the bathroom? That is the bathtub?
We can count ourselves lucky there isn't a fella in it.
Well, I declare.
Why don't we have a sample of Mr. Burke's pochine?
His what?
Pochine? That's what they call the local brew, ma'am.
Oh. Well, back home, we call it moonshine.
And that's what all these shenanigans downstairs were about. Nice little business with the border right on the doorsteps.
You mean they have a still going in Connery Castle?
Of course. And that's why they wanted to stall us off for a week, so they could have time to dismantle the little old distillery.
Well, for heaven's sake, why didn't they say so? Moonshining's a mighty big business back in Texas. Did they think we were going to report them or something?
Of course. Now then, to Irish moonshine, may Connery Castle always glow with it. I think I better have a word with Mr. Burke. 10 ounces of that stuff and we won't need a contractor. We can blow the castle to Texas.
Isn't it as plain as the nose on your face? That foreign fella's talked the poor child into it. Sure, who in their right senses would want to take a whole castle away and it lying in ruins? He's after a fortune, that's what.
He'll have to work hard if he's going to get anything out of that one. That Miss Connery, she's a real hard case. You can take that from me.
Go on out of that. Isn't it a well-known fact that all Americans are as innocent as the day is long?
Or a sight more innocent than some I could mention.
Don't start that. Don't start that again. Didn't any of bust myself trying to get rid of them? Perjuring my immortal soul with black lies about the whole place being booked out to next Christmas.
Ah, sure, I'm sure you did, Mr. Burke. Until you saw the colour of his money. How much did he slip you? A quid?
A quid? Are you suggesting that I would betray the cause for 20 miserable shillings?
Oh, so it was more then.
Indeed, it wasn't. Now, I've got my faults, like the rest of us. But I'll have no hand, act, or part in bribery and corruption. Hey, Larry, come here.
Yes.
You were there?
Yes.
Did a single penny piece change hands?
Yes. Well, he was going to give me the £5 he owed me for my wages, and I think he put it back in his pocket.
True for you. I've had so much in my mind these last few days, I'd forgotten all about paying you.
Had you nothing better to do than argue about his wages when the castle is going to be whipped away from under our noses any minute?
I was clearing up a point.
Yes, it's cleared up. To my satisfaction, anyway.
I'll have a word with this Mr. Varela myself. I'll tell him we're onto him about him trying to steal the poor girl's fortune. Isn't it up to us to protect her interests? Sure, she's half Irish after all.
That one half Irish. She is. Like a lump of granite.
Isn't it a well-known fact that these foreigners have a desperate way with young girls? But I'll tell you this much. He's not going to get around me. Hey, you!
Yes,
Go on up and tell him I want to see him in the parlour this very minute.
yes.
Good. I see we're open for business. Nice, flexible license and laws in Ireland. Perhaps you'd all join me in a glass of whiskey? I beg your pardon. A ball of malt.
Never mind that now. I want a word with you, mister, in the writing room. It's not seemly for a lady to be seen talking in a bar.
What a charming setting for a charming lady.
If you ask me, there's been a sight too much charming done already. How much are you getting out of Miss Connery for this harebrained scheme about moving the castle?
You obviously haven't met Miss Connery. She's not only very beautiful, she's also highly intelligent, like, if I may say so yourself. In fact, you both have a ruthless quality that I find enchanting. Before we've been even introduced, you already accused me of playing a confidence trick on my client. My name is Cabo Varela.
I'm Mrs. Maloney. This is Alice Maloney.
Alice Maloney. How delightful. Well, Alice, now that we know each other a little better, let's get down to business, shall we? I suspect that you have a financial interest in Connery Castle as it stands. I want it to be moved. We can make a deal.
A financial interest in that old ruin? I should think not.
Not financial, I see. Then why don't you want it to be moved?
It's plain you've never heard of the Connery Castle curse.
No, indeed not. Thank you. But you tell me.
Queen Elizabeth, the first one, not the present one, this was some years ago, gave orders for Connery Castle to be burnt to the ground. It was holding out against her, you see. Well, the English troops set it on fire. And do you know what happened to them? A week later, every man Jack was struck down with a black fever and died in agony. It was the curse of Connery Castle.
They say it's like a dwarf with a big head on him and the long shaggy hair. And the backs of his hand touch the ground and him running along.
He has teeth like a cannibal, and he eats bats. They do say you can hear in the crunch in the bones.
Well, of course, there might be nothing in it at all, you know, just a trick of the light.
There was a fella only a year or two ago, took some stone to build himself a wall. The black fever got him too. I thought it only right to warn you.
Well, that was very thoughtful of you, Alice. I mean, it must have taken you a long time to think it up, like a couple of seconds.
The last one I saw, though. 4 miles fogarty. Poor Miles left him snow white, paralyzed in both legs for life, and of course his mind gone.
Oh, but that was a long time ago.
Oh, that's right. Must be all of a week.
Oh, now, don't let's exaggerate. More like 10 days.
Oh, Carlos, isn't it just wonderful? We have got a ghost, a sort of bat-eating dwarf. Isn't that dreamy?
It's even dreamier than black fever, the well-known curse of Connery Castle.
Oh, we've got that, too?
So I'm told.
That's this little dwarf fella spreads it around. Sure, he's the whole place reeking with it. One breath of the air up there, and you'd be lying on the ground, writhing in agony.
And stone dead by the next morning.
You mean this ghost dwarf disseminates an ectoplasm containing typhus bacilli?
Gallons of it.
I can tell you right now, if you're thinking of shifting that castle to America, you'll never get it past the customs.
Oh, sanitation department would have the whole lot dumped right in the sea.
Including all those gallons.
What gallons?
The gallons Larry was talking about.
Gallons of what?
Now, come now, gentlemen. I'm a businessman. I could be of help to you. I mean, normally my company wouldn't consider smuggling. But in this one case, we might be prepared to make an exception, since it's in a good cause.
What good cause?
Well, what better cause could there be than providing the overtaxed drinkers of England with good Irish whiskey at, say, 10 shillings a bottle? That's $1.40.
A bottle of Irish at 10 bob? Should that be a miracle? Where would you get that?
From the still you're running in Connery Castle.
It's a wonder we never thought of that. With the castle straddled across the border.
Still, is it? Well, that's a good one. I can tell you this much. We wouldn't have a small one out of it before we'd have every policeman in the neighborhood down on the back of our necks. They're very hot about that sort of thing these days.
And besides, the old tunnel comes out right behind the customs shed on the other side.
So it isn't a still. What is it then? Why are you all so eager to keep us away from Connery Castle?
It's a fever.
It's the dwarf.
You don't want your hair to turn white.
Look at Miles Fogarty, raving mad.
Running away with 2 of his legs paralyzed.
Gentlemen, we can only be grateful to you. You make Connery Castle sound most fascinating. I agree with you. I think we should go and have a look for ourselves.
Well, it is a little bit late. Maybe we ought to wait until tomorrow.
You're a wise girl, Miss Connery. You're a wise girl. After all, you don't want to have your lovely hair turned white now, do you, and driven out of your mind, just to satisfy your curiosity.
If I was you, I'd give up the whole idea of fooling about with that castle. Sure, it's only an old heap of stones. It would never look like anything back wherever you come, even if you did get it across the Atlantic.
I come from Texas, Mr. Buck. And when a Texan says he's gonna do something, he does it. I have changed my mind. We are gonna go and have a look at that castle right now.
I'm with you, Texas. Sorry, partner. We Texans are mighty sensitive people. Have the same again on me, gentlemen.
We gotta get up there quick. We'll get up the back way before them. Here. No sense in passing up a free one when it's going.
Look pretty spooky at that.
That's exactly the way we want it. Think what it's going to look like in the Texan moonlight.
Well, it's how it looks here that bothers me. Do you suppose there's anything in that dwarf bit? Oh, that's him. That's it.
It'll be interesting to see if we can crate him for export, too.
Well, I reckon when I want my hair to turn white, I'll do it myself. I am going straight back to that hotel. I'd sooner look over the property in daylight. What's that?
A banshee, or more probably an owl. Do we go on?
All right, but you hold on to me good and tight now. I'm not that much of a country gal.
It's only bats.
Well, that's what this dwarf thing eats. You can hear the bones crunching.
Must be a pretty healthy ghost.
What's that?
Somebody around here's been flying.
Through the air?
Irish Airlines, Aer Lingus. Looks like part of a boarding card. Still quite dry. It can't have been here long. Come, let's go.
Oh. It's eating bats. Oh, don't look so mad.
Where? Oh, it's only a donkey.
That's a donkey? You sure?
Sure, somebody's taking advantage of your hospitality. See? Free garage for his car. It's only your guest. He doesn't like to be interrupted at supper time. All right, old boy, we're just going.
I'll say we are. We're going straight back to that hotel.
What's the matter, a bat?
It's gone white. I know
No, it isn't. It's still beautiful and warm and oven. Come.
Well, I'm getting out of here while I still got it. Come on.
Listen.
Oh, no more.
Now, that's the spookiest thing we've had yet. Come now.
Oh, glory be.
What way did you twist the key in it at all?
What's the matter with you? What did you do with the key?
What did I do with the key?
What did you do with it?
Me? What way did you twist it?
Come on.
Will you tell him to shut his gob, will
Are
you?
you tired shouting at him? I told you there'd be ructions if you let from that crate of booze, didn't I?
Well, how else would we have got him down there? Do something, will you?
Oh!
Come out of the way, let me at it.
Seamus! Gary! Do you see what I see?
Saints preserve us. Aren't you the right lot of bunglers? Can't you shut him up?
Alice Maloney, what the place do you mean by prowling about here putting the heart crossways in people?
Isn't it lucky someone is prowling around? For haven't I soaked me best pair of shoes trying to scare them off? Look! They'll be here any minute.
Let me out of here! Let me out!
Will you shut up before I come down to you?
Go and have a bark at yourself, you old bag! Open the jail gates! Let the prisoner free! Down by the glenside, I met an old woman!
Alice, do something.
What am I supposed to do? Make faces at them?
Just show them your natural expression. Here, chuck these through the window.
What for?
Poltergeist, they throw things, don't they?
It's louder. We're getting nearer.
Why, it's coming nearer us.
That's interesting. Could be a poltergeist.
What?
A harmless psychic phenomenon. Things fly through the air with the greatest of ease. Off their own bat, as you might say.
Oh.
That one looked as if it came from the outside.
That was a bat. The daddy of all bats.
More likely the mother, I'd say.
Huh?
I've done it.
About time, too. Come on, open up. Get out of the way.
Well, if it isn't me old friends and admirers come to join me in a bar of a song, huh? What'll it be, man, huh? What about the West's awake, eh? While all around the vigil keep, O'Toole's asleep, O'Toole's asleep.
Seamus, get that
Listen well, may
Hey,
Ireland
you,
weep.
get the bottle out.
Sylvester
Don't hurt him.
lies in slumber deep.
Get out of it! Will you catch a hold of it? Get out of it! Catch him by the legs and let me go! Get out of it! Get hold of me!
Somebody's being murdered.
Quiet! Use your head, you fool!
Meet the ghost of Connery Castle.
If it isn't me old friend, Mr. Hiya!
I'm well, how are you?
Dirty!
Oh, dear. That's a desperate wild man altogether.
The easier work getting a lion back into his cage. You'd hardly think we were doing him a favour.
Well, I can see Mr. O'Toole's point of view. If he shows his face back in London, he'll likely be arrested. Quite a number of motorcycle cops will see to that.
We'll not have him intimidated by a bunch of Cossacks. When the time comes, he'll show himself to be a true patriot.
But if he doesn't want to go?
There's no wanting about it. Isn't it his sacred duty as an honourable member of the League of Irish Writers to be there in London for the opening of his play?
Mrs. Maloney is right. We've got to help get Mr. O'Toole back into England. We've been pushed around by the British too long.
Here, here.
I thought you were a Texan, ma'am.
Well, I am. But I'm also Irish.
Just how did you plan to get Mr. O'Toole across the border?
Oh, that was simple enough. After a great and glorious battle for freedom, didn't the Egypts who drew up the treaty put the border between us and the north right through the middle of Castle Connery?
So we'll keep the darling boy on this side of the castle till a proper foggy night. Then we'll lead him out the other side, across the border, and we'll be halfway to Belfast before those black northern customs officers know what's happening.
That won't work now. The whole border sealed up from one end to the other. Everybody looking for that Frenchman. You couldn't get a black cat across in the middle of the night.
But if you could get him across the border into Northern Ireland, he'd be safe?
Oh, yes. It's only the border that's troublesome. Once across it, you're as good as in England. Or as bad as, I should say.
Good evening, all.
Well, what's the matter with you?
If I was you, I wouldn't talk like that to a police officer executing his duty. Good night.
That fella's looking for promotion. And if he doesn't watch himself, he'll get it from me. Straight up.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
Do about what?
About getting Mr. O'Toole across the border so he can catch the boat to England.
My dear Miss Connery, I was retained to export a castle, not a playwright. That would call for an additional fee.
Oh, now, wait a
really?
minute.
However, in this case, I'd be prepared to waive it. Mr. O'Toole may not be house-trained, as it were, but he does have an original mind, and his plays do say a number of truthful things, and that, to me, is a worthy cause. Remember you mentioning a tunnel that runs under the castle and comes out the other side of the border?
Nobody knows where the entrance is.
It so happens that when Miss Connery engaged me to survey this magnificent ruin, I procured an old map of the premises. And it looks as though a passage leads from Mr. O'Toole's present quarters due north. Now, we may not be able to get him over the border, but perhaps we can get him under the border.
But that passage is probably all stopped up now.
We'll dig it out. We have a full week.
But do you know where it comes up? It's in that queer little temple sort of a place right outside the back door of the Northern Ireland Customs Hut. That happened before he ran a yard.
I'd want to start him off with a jab of a pitchfork to get him going. Man's not cooperating at all.
He will.
I want 12 men to dig that tunnel in relays around the clock. And you get them.
12 men. Digging. Round the clock. You'll not find that class of person here. Oh, wait a minute. There's 3 fellas in the next village that were building that big hotel in London. They're here on holiday, taking evasive action, if you follow me, from English income tax. But I doubt if they'd do it. They've a good bit put away.
£2 an hour. That's $6, right?
Check.
God, for that much, I'd put a foot on his shovel myself.
Good morning, Sergeant. Beautiful day, isn't it?
This is a dangerous-looking yoke you've got here. What class of speed would it go?
It's mine, Sergeant. Oh, I reckon it'll do about 100.
Miles an hour? Well, I hope you're not thinking of doing 100 miles an hour around here. This is a respectable neighborhood.
Don't worry, Sergeant. Miss Connery will never make more than 90 miles an hour. I'll see to that myself.
Oh, this is awfully hot. Do you know what I could use now? A nice big glass of porter with a big thick head on it, you know that? And a good long swim after it, too.
Do you not think the porter's a bit heavy for a day like this? I prefer something lighter myself. A nice cool bitter, perhaps. But I agree with you. Anything would be a blessing.
If you're thinking of coming through here, I want to see your passport.
Oh, that fellow's all right. I interrogated it myself.
Well, thank you, Sergeant. It's all right, Sergeant. I'm not coming through. I just thought I'd come and explain about the castle. We're taking it away, you see. Miss Connery is the owner, and she'd rather have it in Texas.
More convenient, see?
Now, as the castle lies square on the border, I've managed to obtain permission to export it from the authorities in Dublin and in Belfast.
That's mine. Well, that's the first time that he agreed with him, and him with him, for 20 years.
Well, Miss Varela knows all the right people.
Well, excuse me. It's just a matter of me promotion, sir. If I could have a word in your ear later on.
Why, certainly, Sergeant. I'm sure something can be arranged. In the meantime, I know you won't be too disturbed if certain excavations go on in the castle. We've got a big job on our hands.
Actually, you could take the whole county away, sir, as far as I'd mind.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Maybe you could arrange for the border to be removed, too.
Not at the moment. We need it exactly where it is now.
Good morning, Mr. O'Toole. I guess you'll have no objection if you make your quarters just a little bit more comfortable.
Here's the morning papers for a start.
And we'll have your breakfast ready just as soon as we get the fire going. Well, come on, you guys. Get with it.
Put it right here. The smoke will go out the shaft.
Seamus. Oh, never mind about breakfast.
We're just providing you with some home comforts, Mr. O'Toole.
Don't bother. We've got all the home comforts I need.
You'll have your breakfast first, me dear man. We want you sound in wind and limb when the time comes for you to make a run for it.
The only place I'm running to is back to Dublin. my poor old mother is waiting for her long-lost boy.
You'll have to wait a while later yet. There are 6 fresh eggs in there, dear, and we'd better fry 'em up 3.
Here's a wasting your time, the lot of you. You're overlooking the fact that I'll be locked in the nick the minute I put my face over the border.
That's it, men, right here. Start digging.
Hey, I'll tell you what. You go and represent me at the opening of my new play. Sure, you can tell nearly as many lies as myself.
Start digging and keep going, men. Due north.
Very good, sir. Right, Josh, Seamus, give us a lift. Love a gobble, you lot, make up your mind.
Well, I hate to see you breaking your back.
Oh, it's a very complicated matter keeping all these stones in order. I'm working to a master plan.
Well, sure, I can see that for myself, sir.
Hello, Sergeant.
I was passing by and I thought I'd see how the work was getting on.
Doing fine.
You're putting numbers on all them stones, is that it?
Yes, you see, we want to rebuild the foundations exactly as they were.
Are you sure you're doing right? Digging out the foundations first?
It's the modern American method, Sergeant.
Sergeant? Help! Help! Get me out of here! Help! Sergeant! Help!
What's that? Who's that yelling?
It's one of the workmen, Sergeant. He's subject to claustrophobia. It's pretty dark down there. You see, he gets these attacks from time to time.
It's closing in on me. I can't breathe. Help! Help! I'm all right now, sir. I'll be all right in a minute. It's just a matter of getting used.
Try a drop of this, son. It'll help you catch your breath.
Thanks.
Good of you to look in, Sergeant. It's always a comfort to have the cooperation of the police.
Ah, sure, it's no bother at all, sir. I don't suppose you had time to telephone your man in Dublin about me promotion, like.
The matter is well in hand.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. All clear.
Oh, I'd rather take on a copper any day. You've had me half killed.
I'm used to roping steers, Mr. O'Toole. I'm sorry if I was a bit rough, but it was for your own good.
If anybody does me any more good, I won't live through it. Wouldn't you know it? Bottled up like a rat in a trap. The Lord preserve me from my benefactors. Get up there, at you! Everybody's asleep down here!
Good evening, Mr. O'Toole. I have some very good news for you. You're off tomorrow at midday.
I'm not going anywhere tomorrow.
Look, your friends have gone to a great deal of trouble to make it possible for you to attend the opening of your play. There's something you can do for them to show your gratitude.
Show me gratitude, is it?
By shaving off your beard.
What? Shave off my beard? Is it mutilation now? Have you all gone stark raving mad?
With these hairs, you'd be instantly recognizable, you see.
Well, I should hope so, too. Hasn't it taken me 15 years to grow it? It's part of me personality. I'll defend it with me life.
You're being unreasonable, Mr. O'Toole.
I'm not! Now, a fella's got a right to appear at the opening night of his own play. Deportation order or no deportation order. There's one thing I won't do, and that is appear before me public without me beard. Sure, nobody'd know it was me. You're right. Get out! No. Leave me bear alone!
Behave yourself, will you? No, there's a good boy. Look, you'll be far nicer without it.
Don't
There
put
you are
me
now.
beard off. Sure, don't leave me naked.
Mind his ears.
Now, look, go away! Get away, me beard! Oh, there, get down and go away! You cut me beard! Go away! Get out of it, will you?
Bonjour, monsieur le gendarme. C'est terrible, mais j'ai perdu... I've lost my passport.
That is a French accent? Ooh, sounds more like my Italian houseboy back home.
I don't think our friends at the border would know the difference.
Yeah, but this fellow they're looking for hasn't got a beard. I've seen his picture.
In this occasion, naturally, he's disguised. Very reliable wig maker in Dublin. You should try him sometime. Who knows? He might be even more fascinating as a brunette.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd rather have you with a beard.
Well, 10 minutes to go, Sylvester.
Will you have a drop to see on your way?
I will. If those coppers catch up with me, that'll be the last drop I'll have for 6 months.
They won't get near you. Mr. Burrell will have them tied up in knots. He's a decent man, even if he is a foreigner.
That's a terrible black hole. Are you sure it comes out the other end?
Don't worry about a thing, Mr. Fowler. Just don't worry about a thing.
I'll try not to. All right, darling, let's go get ourselves arrested.
Uh-huh. Looking like that, you'll be lucky if you don't get shot.
You must trust my talents, mademoiselle.
And where do you think you're going? And who are you?
Bonjour, monsieur le gendarme. C'est terrible, mais j'ai perdu... I've lost my passport.
It's him, Joe, Tim, Nick, Dennis. It's him, it's the Frenchie.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hold on, sir. I'm telling you,
Just that I've lost my passport.
It's no good you protesting, sir.
Get down, you old bag.
I assure you I'm not the man you're looking for.
Oh, we'll see about that. And I'm holding you, miss, for aiding and abetting the illegal exit of a wanted man.
Never mind the illegal exit. It's illegal entrance that's illegal. Them two are my prisoners.
See, they're not. I caught them first.
Hasn't he got his foot over the border and him not allowed into Great Britain?
Ah, Great Britain, me eye. He isn't supposed to be in the Irish Republic.
It's Mr. Varela, the fellow that's shifting the castle. I apologize for the deception, gentlemen. Miss Connery bet me $500 that the border was wide open. But you see, my dear, you couldn't get a black cat across in the middle of the night. Miss Connery and I will be back next week to complete arrangements about the export of the castle. In the meantime, I might be able to drop a word with persons in authority about the efficiency of the border police.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, sir. Most welcome.
This is awful dry work. But for the love of Mike, will you give us a jar?
Wrap this around yourself. It'll keep the draft out.
Oh, it's got a shocking great froth on it. Well, where are we heading?
First up, London.
London? I want to go back to Dublin.
Well, what do you want to go there for?
Oh, well, me old mother's waiting for me.
Wait for me! Wait for me! I have to be with you in your great hour of triumph!
Come back to the door. Oh, the old back lads here. Quick, quick, get your foot off the brake. Come on, don't push.
There goes the glory of Ireland.
Arrest that woman. She's crossed the border illegally.